Well, the good news for Hawaii is that they have cut down the turnovers, but they're not making threes. You're looking at Juan Munoz, 8th year of college basketball, spent 5 years in Longwood in Farmville, Virginia. Injured the last 2 years at Hawaii. He's got their first 8 here. He's got 8 of their 19. Almost makes 2 threes a game on average, and started his college career the first year that Trump was the president, and now has almost worked his way through Biden's first administration.
Yeah, so far Juan's got 8 points tonight.
Yep. And then, of course, the Miami tight end probably started with Obama. And when Obama trumped Biden, it might have a chance again if there's a shakeup. And Magai misfires. I don't want to get political. Coming up on 7.5 to go. Hawaii still with a 3-point lead. Their largest lead has been 6. They were out to a 6-0 lead. De Silva gets fouled here by Shimanga. Boy, De Silva hasn't gotten it going yet, which is a good thing. He hadn't even taken a shot attempt yet in 7 minutes, and that's good because he has torched the Tritons on this floor. Man, torched them last year in 2 games. On this floor, he had 20 on this floor, 9 of 11 shooting, 3 blocks, 3 steals, and Munoz with another 2. Now all of a sudden they're starting to get 2-point field goals.
Yeah, Munoz now the first player on the court in double figures.
He's got 10. Lead is 5 for Hawaii. Gray stops his dribble. Shimanga with a touch here, hands it off to Magai. Drives into traffic, 10 to shoot. Gray got a nice screen by Shimanga, but it was moving, and that's going to be a foul on Emmanuel Shimanga.
Well, that's 2 turnovers right there on illegal screens. One earlier by Jerron Brooks, that one by Emmanuel Shimanga.
T.Y. Johnson, a 3 to win it for Davis as they win it 54-52. So for the time being, Davis is in first place all by their lonesome in the Big West at 7-1. Irvine drops to 6-1. Here's McCoy. McCoy passed it when Shimanga got there. De Silva now double. Coleman sizes up a 3 and hits it. They have made 6 threes now in 11 attempts.
Noel Coleman's nice looking player, coming in averaging 13 a game. The other night, Long Beach State 32 minutes, only had 6 points, 2 of 7 shooting, 1 of 6 on threes.
And Coleman started his career at USD just down the street, and Hawaii's defense, suffocating defense, forces another turnover here. That's 4 for UC San Diego.
Nice pass out to the corner. Noel Coleman, nice left-handed stroke. Wow.
Yep, he's got 2 threes. Munoz has made 2 threes, so he's at his average.
That ball comes out of his hand so sweet.
Biggest lead of the game for Hawaii is 8.
This is danger time, I think, right now here for the Tritons.
Looking for another one. Coleman missed it, and Pope's got the rebound.
Yeah, you got 6:06 and counting right now in the first half. Tritons have to get something going.
Yep. Tate Jones drives in, and that something going might get started at the line here. Munoz the foul. And so that's going to be our first free throws of the game here for either side. Coming right at the 5:59 mark. They got Munoz. That's going to be the first on the grad student guard. And here's a Niwa Tate Jones. Having a terrific start to his UC San Diego career, the Hawaii Hilo transfer, and was in the Pac West and was all first team.
Let's figure this out here. 8 years in college, okay, and I'm sure he's taken advantage of that.
Yeah.
Okay, you get your bachelor's, then you get a master's, right?
Yeah.
And then you go for a doctorate.
Yeah, that's why we call them doctors in there. Yeah, 8 years, yeah, there's no excuse not to be a doctor at that point. That's why the tight end for Miami, who's getting all the glory and the press with his 9 years, he's got to be a doctor.
Well, he may end up being the school president.
Yeah, that's true. Tate Jones with his first points of the ball game, and we got a whistle away from the ball, and I think they're going to get Jovan McClanahan here. He was holding on to the jersey of Pope underneath the basket.
They always say high school and college are the best years of your life.
So they got McClanahan. That's his first, team foul number 5, and Tritons get a chance to inbound here and cut into the lead. A minute ago, it was an 8-point advantage. It's down to 6.
Well, this is an officiating crew. By the way, we got a good officiating crew.
Yep.
They're really pointing out the point of emphasis on these illegal screens tonight, aren't they? We got 4 of them so far.
David Hall, Kevin Smith, Derek Anangus, and Bryce Pope has 11 now. He leads all scores.
David Hall, one of the top officials for many, many years. Good to see him. Hadn't seen him in a while.
4-point advantage as the Tritons have run off 4 in a row here. Coleman drives in, sealed off by McGuy. McCoy, and stolen by Hayden Gray. Gray back a little Euro step, but he can't finish. Ay, ay, ay. Into the corner. Shot fake. Munoz got a little giddy up to him. Kick to that corner again. Catch and shoot 3 off the mark there by Coleman, who's in his 4th season at Hawaii. All Big West honorable mention last year.
Nice job by Hayden Gray coming down from his point guard spot to pull down that defensive rebound.
Tate Jones probing, driving it with the left hand. He changed hands and scores it off the window. And the Tritons have rolled off 6 in a row, and Hawaii needs a timeout.
And that's exactly what they needed to do, Steve. They were getting into the danger zone, being down by 8. Now all of a sudden, they're working their way right back in and forcing Hawaii to take that timeout.
So Hawaii's biggest lead of the game by 8 was 1 minute and 21 seconds ago. Their scoring drought has gone 2:01, and so they've got to spend their first time out.
You know, people are starting to figure out UCSD has a really good basketball team.
Yes, they do.
And we're slowly seeing the crowds build and build and build. We got a very nice crowd here tonight.
Quite the rebound so far after what happened on Thursday night at Irvine. Both teams were 5-0, and the Tritons lost 76-65. It was much closer than that. They led by 7 in the first half. And the 65 points, the fewest in a game this season for the Tritons. And they made just 2 of their final 12 field goal chances. So they had some opportunities, and you know they've been stewing for the last less than 48 hours, to be honest with you.
Well, you know what? They got a good group of guys. I was talking with Clint Allard, their assistant coach, before the game, and I said to Clint, you know, watching them play throughout the course of the year, they're a very connected basketball team and a basketball program, and I think that starts with their head coach, their coaching staff, and they've done a great job in their recruiting of getting good, solid guys with great mental makeup.
Yeah. 3 of them out of the Division II portal. Wrap back into McCoy. Tate Jones draws the defensive assignment there as they are in a zone, and Rapp fires away an air ball, and he's going to hear it.
You know, Rapp, I think this is his 7th straight start. He's really played pretty well. He hadn't done a whole lot tonight, but, you know, he spent 3 years up there at Washington State and Pullman.
Chance this time down the floor to tie, perhaps take the lead. Tritons have been up by 1, and that's it. We've been tied once. We've had 2 lead changes, and Rapp's going to get called for the foul. And he's like, wait a minute, I got all ball, and I don't necessarily disagree with him, to be honest.
Boy, he smothered that basketball, it looked like to me.
Yep. Tate Jones will be at the free throw line to try and tie this up and continue the run. 3:59 to go before half. Hawaii by 2. Steve Quist, the coach John Quintero with you. 3:59 to go before halftime. And we've got the I team in the back cracking this, and we've got a new first place team in the Big West as Davis just beat Irvine at home. So that one in Davis outside of Sacramento. So the Tritons have a chance to pull into a tie with Irvine for 2nd place if they can get it done. But that Davis team with T.Y. Johnson and Elijah Pepper, that was the highest scoring backcourt duo to return in NCAA college basketball, and they're phenomenal.
You know, the one team that's really kind of, I think, I don't want to say disappointed, well, maybe they disappointed their fans, but I think a lot of people were surprised that Santa Barbara's struggling.
Yeah, very young, though. 3 new guys, 1 out of the portal. They have a Triori as well as Tate Jones at the free throw line to try and tie it up.
That's why these preseason rankings in all sports,
yep,
they're going to go by the wayside because everybody's got a new team, it seems like, every year now with this transfer portal.
Really, the holdovers, A.J. Mitchell is, you know, in the discussion for Conference Player of the Year, and Josh Pierre-Louis is really good as well, but that Davis team is, with those guards, pretty soon Elijah Pepper might be the all-time leading scorer in Big West history and go right past Lucius Harris.
That's doing something.
Bernardo da Silva has been quiet. Da Silva doesn't even have a shot attempt yet in this game after what he's done the last 2 years to the Tritons. Here's Coleman, 5 to shoot. McCoy, big jump step to the elbow, fires it up, missed it. That's a shot clock violation. That's already their 3rd shot clock violation on the road here, leading to a 10th first half turnover.
Now think about this, 3 shot clock violations, 2 illegal screens. There's 5 turnovers right there.
Yeah. And 11 points off of turnovers for UC San Diego, who in the past has had trouble even scoring against Hawaii, let alone beating them. Tritons only scored 49 points versus Hawaii in this building last January, and they're right on pace there again. Yeah, great drive by Tate Jones.
Great drive, good pass over to the weak side. As soon as he caught it, he attacked the rim, and then he came underneath, and it really took away the opportunity for Hawaii to try to block that shot. He used the rim as a block.
How about the Tritons? A 10-0 run over the last 3 minutes. They made 5 of their last 7. And that 8-point lead for Hawaii is a thing of history.
Really doing great job. It starts out front.
Munoz used the screen, shot the 3 and missed it.
Boy, there's a little bounce in the step of the Tritons right now, and it starts with number 10, Hayden Gray.
Looking for a little more here. Tate Jones drives in, and he'll get a chance to extend the run to 12 with 2 more shots at the free throw line. This is something they couldn't do against Irvine. Penetration last Thursday and get to the line until late.
Well, the thing that I like, when Hayden Gray brings the ball down, you see that great reverse layup there by Tate Jones. Look at this. He used that rim basically as a foil to where they couldn't block his shot. But I was going to say, Hayden Gray's very aggressive. Tate Jones can be very aggressive. Bryce Pope, I mentioned earlier, he's gotten a lot better putting the ball on the deck, getting those little crevices to get his shot off. And they're doing a lot of things very, very well right now, the Tritons, offensively. And defensively, I think they've been superb.
Tate Jones has shot all 5 free throws in this game for both sides, a perfect 5 for 5. Tritons were down 8 a moment ago. They're on an 11-0 run, make it a 12-0 run as he's 6 for 6 and joins Pope in double figures with 10 points.
I really enjoy watching Tate Jones play. I mean, he just, I don't know how to explain it. He's just really smooth and doesn't force things.
Here's Coleman. Coleman lost it off his foot for what is an 11th turnover, and then Pope gives it right back. Numbers for Hawaii coming back. And we got a whistle and an offensive foul is called. They're going to get the big Bernardo da Silva here.
I think da Silva may be getting a little frustrated. He's talking while he's walking up the court.
Yep. Listen to these numbers for da Silva, and here's why he might be a little off his game here, not so happy. In 2 games against UC San Diego last year, 28 points on 12 of 15 shooting, 6 blocks, 19 rebounds, and 3 steals.
Well, coming into tonight, Steve, he's leading the Big West in field goal percentage, 69%, and it's 63% on the year.
Oh, Hayden Gray with a little blow by there.
Had a nice talk with Hayden before the game. Very excited about playing this game tonight, coming off that loss the other night at UC Irvine.
That is 14 in a row for the Tritons after they were down 24-16, and a reach-in foul here. Wakoria on McCoy. It's going to be just the 5th team foul for the Tritons, so Hawaii's not even getting free throws here.
More Sex back in the game, by the way, and I thought his first go-around, not that he did anything dynamic offensively, he takes up a lot of space and really works hard.
Hawaii's scoring drought is 502 now. So they get Wakoria, and all of a sudden he had 2 quick. So in the last less than 5 seconds, Wakoria has picked up 2 personals and has to go to Eric Olden's bench.
Yeah, I think we've probably seen him for the end of the half. Unless it's an offensive situation with just seconds to go, they may run him in there on offense.
Javon McClanahan. McCoy, and look at Tate Jones just punched it away. Magai got it. Another turnover, the 13th of the game for Hawaii in the first half. Here is Brooks to try and make a pay, and he hits the triple.
And that's a good confidence builder for him as well after missing some open shots the other night at Irvine. That's a good confidence builder for Duran.
A 17-0 run for the Tritons. Hawaii hasn't scored in 5.5 minutes. Coleman in and out. Sec the offensive rebound. Pulled away by Gray. Hayden Gray down the floor. Inside a minute to go.
This is where you really want to grind them.
Pope for three. Almost in and out. Tate Jones almost got the offensive rebound. And they're going to say last touch by Tate Jones. Hawaii will have the basketball.
That was a tough call, but David Hall was right on that baseline. He pointed the opposite way. Hawaii was trying to help him a little bit, but David was right on that call.
Boy, if that three went down, it would have been a 12-point advantage and a 20-0 run for the Tritons. Now, Hawaii desperately needs a basket.
Well, you take a look. We talked about it, Steve. A little over 6 minutes to go. They were down by 8.
Yep.
And they weren't playing all that well offensively, and all of a sudden, boom, here they go.
Run off 17 in a row, made 4 of their last 5 shots of the Tritons. Meantime, 7 turnovers in the last 6 minutes for Hawaii, 0 for their last 6. Haven't scored now in 6 minutes. Step back jumper is good, ending the drought by Coleman. They needed that one.
Okay, the 30-second clock hasn't started yet, and now the ball is actually touched. I think they got to change that rule myself.
First bucket in 6 minutes, first points for Hawaii. Shot clock is off, so because of the rule you don't like, the Tritons can play for the final shot here.
It used to be you had to touch the ball inbounds within 5 seconds. Now they can roll it all the way up the floor.
Inside of 10 to go. Here's Pope driving in on Cotton, high off the window, and it's good. 35-26. Pope's got 13. He'll count if it goes, and what a run to end the half. The Tritons finish the half, the final 6 minutes, Coach, on a 19-2 run and have themselves a 35-26 lead, and you can see they've been closers this year.
Well, their offense is going to get the notoriety in the first half, but it really started at the defensive end. And by the way, I know that last shot by Bryce Pope over Morsek, the 7'1" player.
Yeah.
That's going to be on the highlight reel, and I can't wait to see that in our highlight package at halftime.
Well, the Tritons got down 6-0 at the start. They got down by 8 at the 6-minute mark and finish on a 19-2 run. Aniwa Tate Jones helping with double figures, and Jerron Brooks' 3 was huge as well. Tritons up. Tritons end the first half on a 19-2 run. They lead by 9 at the break. It is their biggest lead of the game. Hey, Hawaii's in town and taking on UC San Diego, of course, so we need to talk women's water polo. Brad Kreutzkamp was with us last time we were talking. He's the head women's coach, and he told us Hawaii and Irvine have won all but one Big West title in the history of Big West women's water polo, and you can see this is the women's water polo preseason poll, and of course Irvine with 5 first place votes. Hawaii got 1. Long Beach State actually got 2, and then UC San Diego, who opened today at the UCSB Winter Invite, is sitting there picked to finish. Well, I didn't see that, so I apologize. Went off the screen a little too quick, but Tritons won today 23-2 over Ottawa out of Arizona. And you see the Big West Women's All-Conference preseason, and you see Hawaii has a player in Kendall Thomas, a junior, out of her center position, is on that 7-women team to open the season. All right, let's take a break. And nope, let's not. So we get it started today, earlier today, and there we go. San Diego, 23-2 win over Ottawa, and the Tritons are 10th as far as rankings are concerned. Hawaii beat a very good Michigan team, but needed extra time to do it, 14-11. And then you can see in the fourth quarter, Tritons are playing UCLA. That's a big one right there. Got an opportunity to figure out exactly who they are as a team just one day into the season. So it started today with a win over Ottawa out of Arizona, and then they are trying to rally to beat Hawaii up there in Santa Barbara right now. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk women's soccer here at UC San Diego, and Lindsay Park will join us. And there's Lindsay. We'll have a conversation with Lindsay right after this. It's halftime. UC San Diego leading this Big West game here on Saturday afternoon, 35-26. The Tritons with a 19-2 run to end the first half to erase an 8-point deficit. And we're going to talk a little women's soccer now. Sophomore midfielder Lindsey Park joins us here courtside. Great to see you again. I'm the women's voice of the team, and it feels like it was just a few weeks ago that we were all out on the pitch there, but it's been a couple of months here. What have you guys been doing to improve that finish, which was a good one, a sixth-place finish? What have you been doing in the offseason?
We've just been doing a lot, like in the weight room, a lot of conditioning, and just kind of like a lot of pattern play, just to kind of like keep our legs moving.
Right. I mean, it's all about conditioning, isn't it?
Yeah.
In fitness and soccer. Can you talk a little bit about that, about how conditioned you have to be, especially because you only get about 2 or 3 weeks, right, when you come back in August to practice before you're on the pitch for your first game.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard because there's like a few players out there that play 90 minutes, and that's like a 45-45. And it's like a sprint, jog, sprint. It's like not much walking. So we got to do a lot of anaerobic, a lot of aerobic work, just like a mixture of everything.
So you finished in 6th place when it was all said and done. Your thoughts on that? Because if it wasn't for the Division I transition where we're not eligible, you guys would have been in the tournament at the end of the year, the Big West Conference tournament.
Yeah. I mean, we were all really bummed about that, but we weren't thinking about like we were in the probation period. We were just like, let's make the tournament. Like next year we can be in the tournament, so this year let's prepare ourselves as if we can be in the tournament.
The last victory of the season was against Cal Poly on the road, right? It was on a Thursday, and I'm not sure anybody thought you were going to win that match, but you guys did. That's, I think, a good way to kind of jump step into the next year, is it not? Yeah, no, that was huge because they were in first place, and if we didn't win that game, they would have been conference champions, and that would have been big for them because they would have had home games for all of the tournament games. So you really cost them, didn't you guys?
We did. Yeah, that was definitely a big one for us. We were super excited. That was a great way to end our season.
Yeah, how much pride do you take in that now you'll have a mark on your back because you kept Cal Poly from.
No, yeah. I mean, our goal last season was just to surprise the Big West, and that's exactly what we did. And I think now we're going to be definitely competitors in the Big West next year. So
the one thing I did want to ask you before we go to break, that game against Loyola Marymount when you're playing your sister, thoughts on that? How awesome was that? That doesn't happen very often. I don't know if it's going to happen again in your last 2 years unless we go to Loyola Marymount.
I don't think we're playing them in the spring. It's always been. I've always been really nervous for the game. She's always been super excited because she's the older sister.
Yeah.
And it's just really good to be out on the pitch with her. We don't take it like personally at all. Like we're super close. And
you mean at Thanksgiving she didn't say, "Oh, I scored a goal and we won"? Did she bring it up at Thanksgiving?
No, she didn't.
Okay.
No, she didn't.
All right, good. All right, thank you, Lindsey Park.
Thank you so much.
Look forward to seeing you back in the fall. Lindsey Park, everyone, sophomore midfielder for the Triton women. And stats and highlights coming up next from 19-2 run over the final 6 minutes erases an 8-point deficit for the Tritons. They lead Hawaii by 9 at the break. Here's our first half highlights, Coach. And for Hawaii, they got out to a 6-0 lead on a couple of threes right out of the gate.
Yeah, Juan Munoz really came out and shot the ball exceptionally well. A couple of long-range shots. He finished with 10 in the first half. Moore sector leading shot block. Got that one. And then down the stretch, Tritons went to work. Tyler McGuy hitting a long-range three. Then you see Tate Jones being aggressive, going to the rack. And they did a lot of that. Great hesitation dribble, going to his left hand. How about that by Mr. Hayden Gray, and then finish it off with his right hand.
Tritons are getting out-rebounded. There weren't a lot of assists. The turnovers have killed the Rainbow Warriors. They have 14, and that has led to 18 of UCSD's 35 points.
Well, 3 of them have been shot clock violations. 2 others were, actually 3 others were offensive fouls.
Yeah.
Illegal screens.
Speaking of turnovers, Gray tried to throw it inside for Niwa Tate Jones, the Hawaii Hilo transfer, and that results in a turnover, just the 6th of the ball game for the Tritons, who were on a roll. They did not want to see halftime come up by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, they went on that 17-0 run.
A whistle away from the ball and a foul. Going to go against the Tritons, and it's on Jerron Brooks. And the senior has his second personal. Well, Bernardo de Silva was held without not only a point, but a field goal, even a field goal opportunity, and they've got to get it to him here. They get it down to him. There's a tie-up, and it's going to stay with Hawaii here.
You would think he would try to get the ball inside to De Silva. He has not even had a shot at it.
Nope. In this building last year, on this floor, not even a full year ago, torched the Tritons for 20 points, 9 of 11 shooting, 3 blocks, 3 steals, and he had a whole lot of goose eggs. Only thing in the scoring column for him, a couple of rebounds and assists, 2 fouls, 2 turnovers in 13 minutes.
Came up short on that shot.
Yep, and so that's his first shot attempt. It comes in the opening minute of the second half. That is a win right there for UC San Diego. Again, the Tritons have never beaten Hawaii in the Division I era. 0 for 4 and overall 0 for 6. Jerron Brooks skies up, missed it right of the lane. McCoy comes away with it.
Pretty good look though by Jerron, just couldn't get it to go.
McCoy's the grad transfer from the University of North Carolina. Here's Javon McClanahan to Coleman. Munoz, as they have 3 guards on the floor, and a great pass inside to De Silva, and he's got his first made field goal inside of 19 to go.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Munoz hadn't done a whole lot lately. He scored those 10 points very, very early and very quiet towards the end of the first half, and then just created a great assist for himself.
And De Silva tried to take it away, and Jerron Brooks fouls him. And coach, that's the 3rd on the Tritons big. He's going to have to go to the bench here.
Yeah, he picked those 3 up very quickly, too.
The Tritons are about to get smaller, and they're about to ask a guy like Emmanuel Shimanga to play more minutes in this second half, you would think. He's not in quite yet, so they'll go small here. Wakoria draws the assignment on De Silva, who sets the screen for McClanahan. McClanahan and Shimanga have something in common. Their brothers both play for Utah Valley State. Munoz, step back jumper, no good. Rebounded by Gray.
I was going to say, if that shot would have gone by Munoz, you got to give him credit because Hayden Gray had him wrapped up like a blanket.
Yep. 2 minutes into this second half, a 7-point lead. And Gray dribbling in and just missed a chippy. Rebounded by De Silva, and in transition, here comes Hawaii. Outlet Munoz, and the 3 is good. Uh-oh, here come the Rainbow Warriors. A run of their own to start the second 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think Hayden Gray and I think Eric Olin were a little disappointed. David Hall didn't give him a call on that last drive to the basket. Hey, you got to go back and play defense. And right now, a little bit of an interesting time.
Wakoria misses. Hawaii has scored the first 5 to open up the second half.
Yeah, they seem to have a little more bounce in their step right now than they did at the end of the first half.
Munoz attacks.
Whipping that ball around nicely.
McClanahan. Plenty of time to shoot. Looking for McCoy. 7 to shoot. Coleman goes to work. Spins, and Coleman lays it in. That's 7 in a row.
Well, they had to work hard. I mean, Coleman, nice finish right there at the 10, but they had to work hard for that shot.
Coleman scores 13 a game. He has 8 here on 3 of 8 shooting. Gray buries a badly needed 3, and that ends the 7-0 run for Hawaii to start the second half.
You know, Hayden started off the year not shooting the ball real well from behind the arc. All of a sudden, last 4 games, he's really come on.
Tritons didn't shoot it particularly well from beyond the arc at the Bren Center on Thursday. They're 4 of 11 here in this one. Gray's got 5 points. McClanahan got his defender off of him and Tate Jones and fires away left of the lane.
This game's moving pretty quick right now. It may favor Hawaii, actually.
I think it does. A 3-point game. Tate Jones out to Wakoria, left open for a 3, and it hit back iron. Rebounded by De Silva.
Well, I watched him shoot his 3s and warm up tonight. He canned about 10 in a row. I mean, he's really got his stroke back.
He has missed his 2 3-point opportunities here. He didn't the other day. 35% shooter on 3s, and count that one. Here comes Hawaii. Ay. What a start. And that's going to take us to a break. Coleman now has 10 points, and when he comes back to the line, a chance to tie this one for just the third time all game. All of a sudden, a 1-point lead for UC San. Second half of play, and with the upcoming free throw coming here, Hawaii can tie it and erase a 9-point halftime deficit. Looking for just our third tie of the game right here, and Ron Gannott made some really good adjustments in that locker room at half.
Well, Steve, I'll be honest with you. This is the way they played kind of at the beginning of the game, and then all of a sudden UCSD, after being tested pretty hard with about a little over 6 minutes to go in the first half, they started to kick it into high gear. So it's really been a game of runs.
It most certainly has, and that is just our third tie of the game. 11 points for Coleman, and now they pick up the full court press here. Try and make things a little more difficult on the Tritons. We saw Long Beach State had some success with the press a couple of weeks ago. Gray is double teamed.
Yeah, in that game against Long Beach State, we talked to Eric Olin after the game just about his philosophy on press break, because they struggled with that pressure late in that game to try to close it out against the Beach.
2 to shoot, and the 3 missed and rebounded by Coleman. A one and done for the Tritons, that time down the floor. Now Hawaii has got a chance to take a lead. Again, down 9 at the break, which was less than 5 minutes ago. Here's De Silva, scoreless in the first half. Great numbers in his career against the Tritons. Drives in, and Shamanga, who started his career at Irvine, blocks it out of bounds.
Well, and a very good patient effort by Emmanuel there. I mean, he could have been overly aggressive and picked up a foul, but he held his ground, had his arms straight up, and blocked it out of bounds.
He's played particularly well against Hawaii in his career. An 11-rebound game against Hawaii on this floor last January, and there's McCoy to give Hawaii the lead.
McCoy's a problem. I mean, he's 6'8", well put together at 220 pounds, a grad student. I mean, he's seen it all in his college days.
Yes, he has. Between Virginia and North Carolina, he averages 11 points a game, almost 6 rebounds. McGuy to reestablish the lead for the Tritons.
Just what the doctor ordered right there. You give McGuy that kind of look, man, more times than not, it's going to tickle the twine.
Half dozen for McGuy, a Division II transfer as well. Bounce pass to De Silva, and Shamanga tried to keep it from going out of bounds. He bumped into the referee, and it's going to stay with Hawaii. They'll get a chance to inbound with 17 to go on the shot clock.
Well, it's turned out to be a heck of a basketball game, huh?
Yes, a low-scoring affair, which the Tritons and Rainbow Warriors have had through the Division I era.
Okay, Hayden Gray's going to go out now. It'll be interesting to see how they're able to handle this pressure if indeed Hawaii decides to pick up in the backcourt after a made shot.
McCoy down to De Silva, puts it on the floor over Shamanga, and another great job on the defensive end by Shamanga.
Well, really good patience by Emmanuel. Really did a nice job there. I'd like to free up Bryce Pope for a good look.
Here's McGuy with a touch here, 13 to go on the shot clock, isolated against Munoz on that right side. And he's going to put it up, and he'll get 2 free throws as Munoz pleads his case now and says, I didn't touch him.
I'm not sure he did.
Yeah.
I thought he might have got some of the ball going up. Let's take a look. Let's see if he got him going up. Yeah, maybe.
And so Ty McGuy here as Munoz is called for his second personal foul, just the first of the second half for Hawaii.
This is an area where Tyler's not done real well. I mean, coming into a nice ball game, only 60% on the year. He's a better shooter than that.
Tritons as a team lead the Big West at 77%. That miss right there, the first of the night, but McGuy is the first Triton not named Tate Jones to go to the free throw line, and McGuy makes 1 of 2. And the Tritons have a 2-point advantage. They led by 9 at the break. Hawaii has outscored the Tritons 14-7 in the opening 6.5 minutes of the second half. McCoy missed. Morsek tried to keep it going on the offensive rebound end. Tate Jones through traffic with Munoz bumping him. This is where Jones is really good. Morsek, and he somehow got it over Sek, but couldn't finish it.
Morsek got there just a split second later, hit a block that shot, but that thing almost rolled in.
Hawaii's got the only 2 second chance points of the game, by the way, Coach.
That's an amazing stat.
Yeah, it is. Only have 5 total offensive rebounds by both teams. Hawaii 3-2 advantage there, and a reach in, and it is dribbled off of Coleman out of bounds.
You know, they play Morsek, they run him in, they'll run him out. You know, he's not going to give you a whole lot offensively, but I really like what he does. I mean, he does a good job of trying to set screens. He just seems to be active, kind of controls that middle defensively.
That was the first turnover of the second half for Hawaii, and it comes almost 7 minutes in. That's a big deal because they turned it over 7 times, making 14 times in the first half.
Got 2 7-footers going at it down there.
Magai, laser beam off the window for points 8 and 9.
I'm enjoying watching the big guys go at it.
Yeah.
Shimunga and Sek.
Lead up to 4 here.
Nowadays, you don't see 2 7-footers going at it as often as you did years ago.
Sek was setting that screen for McClanahan. He couldn't use it. McClanahan goes to work on Magai. A little shove, no call. Sek comes up to set the screen again. From in the key, the jumper, no. Rebounded by McCoy. And here's Coleman to McCoy, and he misfires. Boy, those second chance opportunities have been few and far between for both teams.
Got to get Bryce Pope going here a little bit in the second half. You're the Tritons.
8 minutes in, and Pope harassed and fouled. That's going to be the first on Cody Williams. His first action, the sophomore from Minnetonka, Minnesota. That kid right there with that curly hair had a season-high 6 points last season against the Tritons on the Islands.
You know, Coach Olin's been able to steal a couple of minutes here, and with 12:04, next dead ball will be a under 12 timeout.
Yeah.
Been able to steal some time with Hayden Gray on the bench.
That's a good point. Jerron Brooks picked up his 3rd. Not too far into this one, like 90 seconds in, and soft little touch there by Pope.
You got to get him going. You don't want him to go 4 or 5 minutes without a shot attempt, and he hadn't been real active here in the second half.
Reigning Big West Conference Player of the Week has 15 in this game. The lead up to 6. Uncontested 3 in the corner, missed by Coleman.
Well, Poirier got run over. Looked like a 1-car pileup.
Magai going to take the 3, missed it, and it's rebounded by Morsek. McClanahan guarded by Pope. Takes it down to the low post.
Boy, having that big Shimunga down there, if a guy turns the corner, he's waiting there for him.
Coleman got it stripped, taken away. In transition, Tritons have numbers, and they'll slow it up here.
You know, I don't know if Emmanuel Shimunga realizes how important he is to this basketball team. He brings them a different dimension when he's on the court.
Tritons have 7 steals. There's the leaner by Pope, trying to get his own offensive rebound.
I like when they are able to isolate Magai down there. Every once in a while, Hayden Gray or Tate Jones will get isolated, and then a nice little turnaround, little friendly roll by Bryce Pope.
What the heck? It's not our money. Let's give away 2. Hercules Tires, strong moves of the game. You know, not to stat you to death, but Hawaii's team much bigger, right? Especially with Jerron Brooks sitting on the bench here for about the last 8 minutes with the 3 personal fouls. But here's what we noticed. Points in the paint favor UCSD 24-10. Of course, there was that stretch at the beginning where all Hawaii was doing was shooting the 3s. Well, Tritons plus 7 on the boards, and 16 Hawaii turnovers have led to 20 of the 46 points for UCSD.
Well, Ty Magai did a nice job in his opportunity here in the second half. Manoa Shimunga, I thought, really was a difference maker. Now you got Jerron Brooks back with the 4 or 3 fouls you mentioned. Hayden Gray getting about 2.5 minutes over there, getting a little bit of a rest. So he should be good to go the remainder of this ball game. Just
saw Mikey Howell, one of the assistant coaches, great assist man here at UC San Diego before he transferred as a grad student to Bradley, giving a little coaching advice. And the drive there by Cody Williams and Morsek, and those are the first second chance points of the game for either side, and they may get 3 out of it.
That's a tough one right there. Francois Poirier maybe a little bit underneath the basket, really didn't have the leverage we would have liked, and Sek pulled the ball away from, you'll see, here on this rebound. So he got underneath and Sek pulled it away from him and went up, drew the foul, gets the bucket. See what he can do at the charity stripe. More Sek on the year, 61.9% free throw shooter.
I lied to you. Those are points 3 and 4 as far as second chance points are concerned. It's getting harder to track everything without a stat guy as I get older.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Oh, Brooks is back in. How about that?
Yeah.
He sat out for a little bit over 8 minutes, and even with the disparaging 24-10, the disparity in 24-10 points in the paint, they got him back out there. Halfway home in the second half, Tate Jones just got
goaltending.
Yep, it should very well be. They're going to count it. Yep, that's going to be basket interference. There will be a foul as well. So this has a chance here to be a three-point play.
This is a reviewable play, correct?
I believe so, yes.
It hit the backboard, and then you hit it again. That's going to be goaltending. They can review it until the Kyles come home. That's going to be goaltending.
Foul was on Akira Jacobs. That's going to be his second, and they are going to look at it. The crew here, David Hall, Kevin Smith will go over to look at. Actually, David Hall and Derek Angenis will go over and look.
Yeah, we'll get another look at it here in a second. But I believe once it touches the backboard, you got to keep your hands off it.
Yeah.
This is international basketball where you can do just about anything to keep the ball out of the hoop.
That was the call. The call on the court is goaltending. Here we go. Yeah.
Going to be from that angle. It wasn't definitive. The original angle from the side, it looked like the ball hit the glass before Sek touched it.
Now, I didn't look to see if they called the foul on the floor before the shot. Let me see if I can look. I'll look at the officials. We get another look and see. No, yeah, that would be in the.
You know what? That's a block. They're going to call that goaltending?
Yeah, they're gonna hold it up as a basket interference, and then there'll be one free throw. It could have been where they waved it off, right? Said no goaltending. Then it would be 2 shots here.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't think that ball hit the backboard. Originally, I thought it did.
They got a break. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So Tate Jones got credit for the basket. He's got 12.
I mean, it was tight.
Yep.
It was tight, but I think he may have hit that ball into the board.
More sexy big boy at 7-1.
But hey, it benefited the Tritons, that's for sure.
That's the first miss at the free throw line for Tate Jones tonight. He's 6 of 7. As a team, they're 7 of 9. Tritons first in the Big West Conference as a team, 77% from the charity stripe.
Well, that was a big bucket.
Ruliadef, Harry Ruliadef, 6'9" sophomore of Australia, is in. This is his first action of the game, and McClanahan.
Where's that been?
Yeah.
That was a pretty smooth shot.
All Big West second team selection. Does his best work, almost 4 assists per game. He's one of the top 10 in assists in the Big West Conference. Little shot fake there. Stopping his progress was Magai, and he dumps in 2 more.
Nice jump stop,
Yep.
elevating. Let the defender go right by him and had a nice clear shot and nailed it.
He's the 3rd Triton in double figures. A turnover. Tate Jones, and Tate Jones is fouled. He's going to get fouled by Cody Williams. That'll be the 2nd on Williams.
Boy, out front here, when he caught that ball and he tried to make the little Euro step inside, I thought he maybe hyperextended his knee. I was a little concerned about that.
Well, it looked like he might have banged the knee earlier on a previous play, too. Remember when he had that play, he was backing down on the right side.
Look at that, a little off balance.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? He's smiling, so you know he's okay.
Well, I noticed earlier he had a play where he was backing somebody down right of the lane, and I don't know if he slipped or it looked like his knee kind of gave out a little. But that's the 2nd time that the Hawaii Hilo transfers had that happen. And a catch and shoot off the curl. 3 is good. You can't execute that any better than that, Coach. Brooks with the assist.
Now, he come around the corner, got his shoulder square to the bucket, and Hawaii needs a timeout. They get it.
And the Tritons are back out to another run, and they're back out to another lead of 9 points, matching their largest of the game, which they had at the half. And Hawaii calls their 2nd time out of the game.
Look at that. Coming around that pick at the high post. Nothing.
Miles here, and why not? 14 points to follow up the 12 he had on Thursday at Irvine.
Done a good job coming off the bench. Really good job coming off the bench. And, you know, this is exactly what the Tritons needed, and a lot of teams around the country needed was those transfers to get eligible.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Magai was a two-time transfer. We talked about it. Had it not been for the Attorney General of the state of Ohio winning back in December, Magai would still be redshirting. Instead, he has been a fabulous addition now in 8+ games. Zone here.
Have a little 2-3 zone.
Yep. Munoz, McClanahan, and he gets it inside to De Silva, too hard off the glass. De Silva still only has 1 field goal on 5 attempts. That's all been in the second half, his body of work. He didn't have a shot attempt in the first half. Foul, and they're going to get McCoy, the North Carolina grad transfer.
Yeah, the other night, Justin had a big game against Long Beach State. In fact, he had a career high 22 points the other night with 6 of 11 on 3-pointers.
Well, how about his first half? And I saved a tweet, I'm glad you said it, from my buddy Josh Pacheco, who's calling for the game for Hawaii. At the half, 17-point halftime deficit for Hawaii, their largest of the season. But McCoy had 19 points, 5 3-point makes in the first half alone. And he only played 20 minutes, right, in that first half. It's crazy. Pope, no.
Kind of got halfway in.
Yep.
Now, was he going to shoot it straight in or use the board? He did neither.
There's McClanahan. Josh Pacheco told me the hot rumor in Honolulu was they were going to change ESPN to all Spanish. He says, no, that's not true. A few years ago it was going to be Radio Disney, but his great leadership as a program director stopped that from happening, and De Silva turns it over.
Hayden Graves really had a solid second half, hadn't he?
Yeah, well, Coria has been awfully quiet. You pointed out not a single rebound for Francis, who averages 5.3 a game, 11th best.
He played some doggone good defense tonight.
And how about that? They were going to let him get away with what I thought was a charge. He's down,
okay.
Yeah, and instead
of an ankle.
Traveling violation, and that'll take us to the under 8 timeout. We hope he can walk this thing off. Going to need the big fella for the final 7:26. Tritons lead it, match their biggest lead of the game. Francis Wikoria, a little scary moment seconds ago before the break here.
Yeah, he tried to wedge his way in there, and the contact, lost balance, injured that left ankle a little bit. Now, the training staff took him back, not all the way back to the locker room, just to the training table. I don't know if they're taking a look at it, maybe retake. But hey, I want to mention his mother Gloria is watching tonight, brother Lawrence. I want to wish them well, and glad they tuned in tonight.
He's like the wizard right now. He's behind the curtain.
Yeah, I have a feeling he'll get back here. He looked, the farther he was walking off the court, the better he was walking. So he's a competitor. He wants to get back in this game.
Yep, and there's a turnover. That's the 19th of the ball game for Hawaii. And points off of turnovers, 23-5 favor the Tritons. And they're looking for 2 more.
This is where you want to really start grinding your opponent right now. Make them chase that basketball. Not a lot of dribbling, do a lot of passing.
Shamanga, the screen on McCoy. Tate Jones with 7 to shoot. Here's Pope. Pope drives, little floater over Williams, missed it. Got his own offensive rebound. Got a fresh 20-second shot clock. Don't have to hurry.
That's where you want to grind your opponent.
Yep.
You want to make them chase the basketball.
Points against Hawaii have been so difficult in this season series year after year. Tate Jones drives in on McCoy. Another offensive rebound, and he gets fouled. Wow.
Great basketball right there by Tate Jones. As he was going, you see him drop that left shoulder,
Yep.
get a little leverage, and keep the defender away from the basketball.
Yep.
And then he missed the shot, but went back and got the rebound. Shooting percentage went down, but his rebounding average went up.
That's a veteran move right here from a guy who was all Pac West when he played in Hawaii. Hilo, what a great pickup for Eric Olin's team. Again, they went after a bunch of Division I transfers in the portal when Anderson and Rockamore left, along with Kosakowski, who's now at Hawaii Hilo. So we basically made a trade. It was Jake Kosakowski for Aniwa Tate Jones. No player to be named later, no cash considerations or anything like that, but those 3 get away, and Eric Olin's like, what are we going to do? He goes into the Division II portal and gets Gray, Tate Jones, and then, of course, Magai, who was in the back of the screen there.
And Magai was a known commodity. And this guy scored over 1,000 points in his college career.
Yep. 10-point lead to Silva inside and counted. Shamaga the foul. And so what was the biggest lead of the game for the Tritons at 10? Whittled down to 8. Could be whittled down further to 7 here with a free throw coming.
Well, this is just a great strength by De Silva right here. We'll try to take a look at it right here. You got Shimanga at 7 foot, I don't know, 200 some odd pounds. He's a big boy. De Silva's still able to power it up. About 270 pounds, I think Emmanuel's going.
He missed.
I don't know if he ate breakfast this morning or not.
Hawaii's 1 of 3 at the free throw line. They've only been there 3 times, trying to avoid a 7th loss in their last 9 games. And this club started the year a promising 5-0, and Munoz with a takeaway. McClanahan. McClanahan drives in, and there's going to be a foul here on Tate Jones.
Well, the good news, Francis Wakoria back on the bench right now, and he's kind of flexing that left foot a little bit. Looks like he wants to go back in. We'll have to wait and see if Eric Olden's going to put him back in.
Tritons play next Thursday against Riverside and then go to Davis. That might be their second first place showdown of the season. The first one didn't go as planned.
Well, the good news, Francis is walked by the head coach. He's at the scorer's table. He'll be in the next dead ball.
Munoz got fouled in the act of shooting on the baseline right at the 5:31 mark, so free throws are coming right here. There's Francis ready to come back in.
That's good news right there.
Francis has logged 27 minutes, 2 for 6 shooting, 4 points, but again, no rebounds, and he's one of the top rebounders in the league.
And you know, that's hard to go. As active as he is, he doesn't have a rebound. But I'm going to tell you what, it's not because of lack of effort. They've been working his tail off, and he's played hard on defense. They had a great game defensively.
I went up as a fan Thursday to watch the Irvine game, and this guy, his motor was just going, and he had 17 points for the game, 15 of them in the first half alone. But what he was doing defensively, I mean, he just was worn out by the second half. He only had a couple of points in the second half.
And he also had 7 boards the other night.
All right, so the lead is 6. The Tritons have not had a field goal in the last 3:26. Hawaii administers some full court pressure for the second time.
This is an area where the Tritons early in the year, we pointed out against Long Beach State, had a hard time closing that win out because they didn't handle the pressure in the backcourt all that well.
Lead is 6. Pope's got it. Drove on Williams. No look kick to Wakoria. 4 to shoot. Hayden Gray rises up for the 3, missed it, and Brooks is going to get fouled by De Silva. Are they going to call? Oh my goodness, how do they call Brooks on that? I thought De Silva was all over him, to be honest with you. Well, that's going to be the 4th on Brooks.
What De Silva did was he took his one arm and wrapped it around the waist from behind. He had inside position, but he was holding Duran trying to go after that basketball. And David Hall, maybe from the angle he saw a little bit differently, but I thought that was an offensive foul on De Silva.
Yeah, but instead, De Silva is going to go to the free throw line.
I'm not so sure De Silva didn't think the foul was on him initially.
Yeah. So it's a 1-and-1 here, and it proves to be okay for the Tritons. That was their 8th team foul, but the 4th on Brooks.
Yeah, late in the game, if the Tritons were down, you'd want to foul De Silva. He's only a 54% shooter.
Jerron Brooks, his second made 3 of the game. He had 2 the other day against Irvine. None bigger than that one, stretching the lead out to 9.
Playing that aggressive man-to-man right now. Hawaii trying to kind of get organized offensively.
He says 4 fouls, you know my what.
Oh.
And they're going to call a foul right here, a blocking foul, much to the chagrin of Eric Olin, who's saying, wait, you called the same thing down on the other end. This is Javon McClanahan. Oh, and he kind of threw his arm bar up there too, huh?
Yeah, Eric Olin was incensed, and you got to be careful. You don't need a technical. He right when that play was called, he looked at David Hall, who was the outside official, and David just kind of said, take it easy, Eric, take it easy.
third on Tate Jones, and here's McClanahan at the free throw line, the all Big West second team selection last year.
Eric Olin doesn't get too upset. He's very upset right now. He's going, hey, you got to call that at both ends.
First free throw is made. The lead is 8.
The referees warned him a couple times now. He got to back off. You don't want to get a technical in this situation.
A miss off the front of the rim by McClanahan. That's a rare miss by McClanahan. Keeps it an 8-point game. You see the end of the Irvine game, the other with the slam dunk by Welling at the very end, and tempers were flaring after the game.
Yeah, it was a brisk handshake.
Yeah, they had to separate the two teams there, and Russell Turner was getting into it. A lot of jawing back and forth, but league didn't rule anything on it. And the guy got partially blocked by McCoy, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. So a benefit for the Tritons there. What should have been a live ball turnover now instead will be a dead ball and will lead us to Triton women are on the islands. I'm going to go home and watch it on my Spectrum. I have this weird Spectrum deal where I get like 53 channels from Hawaii. It's crazy, but this is a big one because Hawaii, it's a big one for Hawaii, who's 5-1 of the conference, a half game behind Santa Barbara. And then UC San Diego's 3-3, so the Triton women, Heidi's team has always given Hawaii fits, and Hawaii always has great players, great rosters, so we'll see. That'll be a big one, and if you have the Spectrum cable, you can watch it. I've got that OC16 as well. I was telling Josh Pacheco on his radio show yesterday, I watch a lot of high school hoops from Hawaii, and yes, my loneliness should probably sadden you. And Wikoria with a steal and then a foul. That is the 11th steal in this game for the Tritons. How about that number? Sorry that we've neglected to share that with you until this point. But it's a big one with 3:40 to go, and the foul on Coleman, that's going to be his first.
Well, so far tonight, the Tritons 8 of 11 at the charity stripe. Hawaii's 50% tonight. They're 4 of 8. Not a lot of foul shots to this point in the basketball game, which is a good thing.
Yeah, Francis to the free throw line, looking for just his 5th and 6th points of the game. And he makes the first. Francis had 25 points at Hawaii last February in the Stan Sheriff Center. Still, I've never seen a game out there yet. And he gets the friendly bounce. I've been inside the arena a couple of times. I've never gotten over there in basketball season.
Well, you're a world traveler? Come on.
Little Jackie Moon give and go right there between De Silva and McCoy. Deep three here by Munoz is good.
Where's Munoz been, by the way?
Yeah, he got hot to start things, and now Munoz has 18 here, but
well, he was over there on the bench. It seemed like he was taking a tour of the UCSD campus there for a while. He'd been gone so long.
And a timeout, a 30-second timeout. Well, Munoz had 10 in the first half, and he's got 8 here. Yep. That was a big 3 because it was a 10-point game, matching the biggest lead of the night for UC San Diego, and then Munoz drills this 3 right here.
Yeah, he hadn't played a lot here in the second half, really.
To check his minutes here. Maybe it's a matchup thing. 27 minutes total. And let's see, at the half, allow me here, Munoz played 16 minutes in the first half. So, yeah, you'd be correct. He's played
11 minutes.
A little shade over 10 minutes. They've probably elected to get McClanahan and Coleman in there, I would think.
Now, Munoz's been a difference maker for them tonight. I mean, offensively, he's been fantastic, and he really started out well, and seemed like they kind of cooled him off by sitting him over on the bench much of the second half.
You know who started, who we haven't seen since the beginning, was Ryan Rapp, who played 3 seasons at Washington State and appeared in 3 games for Hawaii. Rapp was out there as a starter, but only played 5 minutes in the first half.
He only had 1 shot, and it was an air ball.
And not to mention a turnover. Coming up on 3 minutes to go, lead is 7. Nearly a steal there by Williams. Pope left open in the corner, and Pope can't get the bounce, but an offensive rebound. That is the 5th of the game. Tritons only have 1 second chance point, though, so my money would be on Hawaii taking a defensive stand here. McCoy has other ideas, backing in against McCoy.
Nice move.
Spins on him, yep, and a foul on McCoy. Wow.
Oh, man, what a spin move that was. Holy Toledo.
And that's going to be team foul number 7. So, a team foul number 8, so 1-1 coming.
Watch how quick this guy turned. Oh, my goodness gracious.
On roller skates. Trevor Zegras can't even do it that good for the Ducks.
And I got to tell you, that replay didn't even do it justice, to be honest with you. I mean, in live action, that was a quick spin. He's really good at feeling, being patient and feeling where his defender is and using his leverage against that defender.
Yep. Tritons are going to have to win this thing at the free throw line. They're 1 for their last 7 from the floor. And on the front end of the 1-and-1, they miss. Meantime, Hawaii's gotten hot. They're 4 of their last 5 from the field.
Now, just, you know what? Give them 2s, but don't give them 3s, and don't foul a three-point shooter.
There's Munoz, and that looked good coming out of his hand. He got to the right spot on the floor, and now it's a 4-point game. Munoz with a 6-0 run himself.
Like I said, you can't give them 3s. You gotta get right in their jersey and force them to take the 2s.
Well, it was a 10-point lead. Just over a minute ago, he's down to 4.
You can't start hatching the ball yet. You still got to attack offensively.
Hawaii extends the defense. Wakoria with 7 to shoot in on McCoy. And what a great drop step and move on McCoy. But a big basket.
As Chuck Hearn used to say, put him in the popcorn machine.
He did. Lightly sprinkled some butter on that one. And it's a 6-point advantage. McCoy goes to work now over 2 bigs. What a great shot by the North Carolina transfer.
Well, he rammed that one off the board.
Yes, he did. He had just a ton, and I mean a ton of length and beef in front of him. And the 6'8" grad transfer makes it a 4-point game again. 1:48 to go, timeout. Hawaii's going to have 1 left. UCSD has 2 left. Let's show you what's coming up on the schedule, although we're far from being done here. Another chance to join us, one final chance inside this arena in January. Riverside's here, then at Davis, that's going to be huge. CSUN on February the 1st, then a big road trip, Long Beach State and Hawaii. Of course, there's a bye in there, I would presume.
Well, that CSUN, they've had some big wins this year.
Yes, they have. Andy Newman, who we saw when he was coaching Division II at San Bernardino when the Tritons were in the CCAA, always had really good teams there, and he's been able to have that translate to CSUN, which is in badly need of something positive academically, or athletically rather. Here's this move.
Look at that move right there.
Oh, wow.
He gave him all kinds of moves. A little shake and bake, up and under, lay it up and in.
Remember, Francis Wakoria at the half was 2 for 4 shooting for just 4 points, but didn't have a rebound. Wakoria still does not have a rebound, if you can believe that, but he's got 8 big points.
That's hard to believe.
I don't think that's ever going to happen again. 90 seconds to go. Shot clock is at 10. It's a 2-possession game. Pope goes to work here on Williams, drives in, puts it up and scores it. De Silva was coming over to help out, but Pope just got to the spot on the floor where he needs to be.
He got that floater down pat, by the way.
He's got 17, and a foul called on Wakoria on the other end on the shot attempt by Jovan McClanahan.
Well, McClanahan on the year, not a great free throw shooter. 65.2% coming in.
Now there's 2 big ones right here. That's team foul number 10. 6-point advantage. Again, Hawaii at the free throw line, 50%. Smaller sample size, 4 of 8.
He looked like an 80%er on that one.
Yes, he most certainly did.
That barely moved.
5-point game. 1:09 to go. Tritons trying to get to 6-1 in conference play. They've only lost once in this building this year, and that was the tip-in against San Diego State.
Well, he drained both of those. Looked good.
Didn't even touch the rim. Here's the pressure. Gray comes to get it. Lead is 4. And the always reliable Pope is going to be trapped up high.
They're going to play this out. Last thing Hawaii wants to do now is foul. You got to play it out.
A bucket would be huge right here for the Tritons. Magai setting a high screen. Crossover by Pope. The floater is no good. Rebounded by McClanahan inside of 40 seconds to go. Still a two-possession game. McClanahan with the left hand. Nope, Magai's got it. Hawaii might have to foul here.
They really need to.
Yep. And they're going to call McCoy for a foul. Now that's going to be the 10th team foul in Hawaii. So now you're going to send Pope to the line. He's third in the Big West at 89% from the charity stripe. 28.9 to go.
And tonight, Bryce Pope is not shot a free throw.
Well, that's a good little strategy to keep him off the free throw line. Tritons looking for their first ever victory against Hawaii. And they are 0-4 against Hawaii in the Division I era. Pope makes the first. If you're watching on the islands, Ron Gannett's team back in action against Santa Barbara at home at the Stan Sheriff Center. You're going to have back-to-back home games next week. 25th and 27th against Santa Barbara and Cal Poly. Santa Barbara lost to Fullerton today. Both free throws made. Bryce Pope has 19 points. Lead is 6. Drive and a block by Tate Jones, but De Silva cleans it up and a quick timeout for Hawaii. All right, De Silva gives them a puncher's chance with 19.9 to go. Just the second made field goal for De Silva in this game.
This has been a fun basketball game. Fans that came out to Lion Tree Arena on a rainy afternoon have been treated to a fine ball game. A big follow shot. We haven't had a lot of follow shots in this ball game, Steve.
No, not at all. You talk about second chance points. Hawaii has 6. The Tritons still only have 1. They might win a conference game at home with only 1 second chance point. That's crazy. It's amazing what this team has done at home this year, too.
You know, this Hawaii team, I guess their fans would probably be a little bit disappointed about how they've played so far. Coming in 10-8 on the year, 2-4. They were picked in the preseason by the coaches to finish third in the conference, and they got some talent. It just haven't been able to put it all together so far. But they're a team, I think, they keep working hard. They can do some damage down the stretch.
Hawaii, if they don't pull out of this one, they dug themselves a really big hole down by 9 at half. And you think about that 19-2 run by the Tritons at the end of the first half. That, if it holds up like this, is the difference of the game. Hawaii's up 24-16. Tritons score 19 to the final 21 points, go up 9 at the half. Hey, Hawaii has a great start to the second half, but just couldn't sustain it.
Now let's see how the Tritons handle this. This Hawaii team's really tough guarding in the backcourt. I mean, they're a physical, they're quick, they're a strong basketball team. Let's see how the Tritons are able to handle this pressure. And once that ball's inbounded, I mean, you're going to go for the steal, but if it's inbound, you got to foul immediately. You got to lengthen the basketball game out as long as you can now. If you're the Tritons, you got to run to the basketball. Don't run away from it, and secure it and be strong.
Again, the press gave the Tritons all kinds of fits in this building the last time they were here against Long Beach State. They trap Pope. He gets fouled, and again, we'll remind you, third in the conference in free throw shooting. 89%. That's going to tick up a little bit here with his 2 makes.
Well, if you're Hawaii, he makes these 2. You're looking at having to shoot 3 balls then.
Yeah. Hawaii in this game has made 9 of 21 threes, 43%. And Bryce makes the first. 5-point game, still a 2-possession game, and Tritons will put 3 defenders in the backcourt for a moment. Now it'll be 2. And, a rare miss by Pope, leaving the door open. He's got 20 points. Final seconds of this one. Here's Munoz, a deep 3. It's no good. Rebounded by Pope. And they're going to foul him, and that should do it with 6.8 to go. Tritons lead by 5.
Yeah, they're in good shape.
What a bounce back after what happened at Irvine on Thursday.
Yeah, disappointing loss for Hawaii. They came out tonight. I thought the first 10 minutes of the basketball, 12 minutes maybe, of the basketball game, they looked really good. But, you know, they had that 8-point lead with a little over 6 minutes to go in the first half, and that evaporated on that 19-2 run. At one point, it was a 17-0 run by the Tritons.
And for Hawaii, it's not going to be a fruitful road trip. Loss at Long Beach State would look like their first ever loss here at UC San Diego.
It's a big bounce back game for Bryce
Yeah.
Pope. Even though he's a veteran, been through it, it's a big game after, you know, really getting shut down the other night.
Still a two-possession game. McCoy lets it fly, missed it. That's it. The Tritons have won it 67-61. Bryce Pope has 21, Taimagai 14, Tate Jones 13. Tritons 12-7 overall, 6-1 in conference play. That pulls him into a second-place tie. Now with Irvine, they'll be a half game behind Davis. And 8-1 at home this season, Coach.
Well, 8-1, and the only losses on that tip-in by Jaden Ledee by San Diego State at the buzzer to beat the Tritons. And I always go back to that game. If Manuel Shamunga doesn't slip trying to block Ledee out, then the Tritons probably win that ball game as well.
I'm not sure if he slipped. I kind of thought it was a push, but we don't need to relitigate all of that.
Yeah, but nonetheless, this UCSD basketball team under the direction of Eric Olin, they're legit. They're a legit basketball team. They're doing an incredible job building their Division I program, and to see all these fans starting to show up, more and more people in San Diego are figuring out this is pretty good basketball.
Who would have thought 6-1 through 7 games to start Big West Conference play? The Tritons use a 19-2 run at the end of the first half to erase an 8-point deficit. They win here and get their first ever victory over the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. They are now 1-4 lifetime against Hawaii in the Division I era. For our producer, Josh Rose, our great crew back in our studio, for the coach, John Quintera, I'm Steve Quist bidding you farewell from San Diego, California, where UC San Diego wins it 67-61. Good night, everyone.